Hi there. This video is longer than the normal videos that I make, and the reason for that is when I posted the trailer about the emergency and the rescue situation, I got quite a lot of feedback and comments that people really wanted to see what happened, what transpired, and I guess, get the lessons learned from this event so that they could be a little bit smarter. So I've actually cut this video. When we get to the rescue part, I've left a lot more footage in just so you can kind of really see what transpired, the good, the bad, the ugly. If you want to just jump straight to the crash or to the rescue, down below I'm going to have the chapters with links to take you straight there. But if you've got the time, I think it's an entertaining video. Grab yourself a beer, grab a popcorn and enjoy. As I packed up my gear and headed home from the office on Friday afternoon, I was feeling pretty excited because I had a 3-day adventure bike ride planned. It was a pretty simple trip. We were just heading north of Sydney and doing a lap around Wollamai National Park. So we were camping in Yengo and then camping out west and then back. But for now, it was just time to leave the road bike and swap all my road gear for my adventure gear and then hit the road. But little did I know that in less than 24 hours, I was going to be part of a major rescue initiative that involved ambulance, fire brigade, 2 SES vehicles, and the Westpac rescue helicopter. So this is the plan for Friday afternoon. I was meeting a mate in Wiseman's Ferry, and then we were heading up through St Albans, Buckety, and into Olney State Forest, where I'd found a really nice little campsite for the night. I met my mate Coco at Wiseman's Ferry. I've known Coco for probably 30 plus years, and when we were young we used to ride enduro bikes together, and he's recently got back into adventure riding.
Nothing to hold me back, take my time, just enjoy the ride.
The weather was perfect and the ride out on Wiseman's Ferry Road was just beautiful. Just a really nice way to relax into the weekend and the adventure ahead.
Get me up, somewhere I can't find myself. Oh, I feel so alive.
When we got to Olney State Forest, I'd opted for a really secluded little campsite that I'd scouted beforehand, rather than one of the main ones. And that's where we met up with Craig. And Craig, I guess you'd say, is the star of this video. And to give you context, I need to just explain a bit about Craig. I think that every riding group has their version of Craig. And let's just say he's a little bit special, a little bit different. Craig's the sort of guy who seems to always just struggle to get the GPX files working properly on his navigation system. He's the one that tends to have bike problems, and he's the one that just takes the alternative lines up hills. And probably the best part of riding with Craig is almost guaranteed every ride he will lose his shit and the center will explode as he loses his temper. And it kind of makes it interesting and fun to ride with Craig. So we set up camp and we just settled in for an absolutely idyllic night by the campfire, talking trash, having some wine and enjoying ourselves. Day 2 was a big day of riding. We left our campsite and we had a short run to Laguna where we met up the rest of the folks for breakfast. Then it was out across Howes Trail, Commission Road, tar across the top of Wollamai, and then down through Rylestone, and we were camping the night at Dunn's Swamp. However, in researching this, I saw a lot of posts about the top end of Commission Road and riding through potentially private property. So I did some research and I found that it is in fact private property. And while I did ultimately get permission from the farmer to ride through, we ended up scoping an alternative route on the old Bulga Road track, which was absolutely fantastic. So we woke to a beautiful morning, we packed up camp and we hit the road and just had an absolutely beautiful little run down to Laguna. There I met up with the rest of our buddies, we had a nice breakfast and we got ready to hit the road. The Howes Trail is a fun trail to ride and it's just a beautiful warm-up for us. We stopped at Finchley Lookout and I love this lookout. You know, it really makes you appreciate what we've got just north of Sydney. Just the wilderness and the bushland that's on our doorstep is absolutely amazing. And then the fun really began. We were all warming up and we all seemed to just hit the zone. We were having a lot of fun. The trash talk over the centre was making us all laugh non-stop. And it was just a perfect day and just a lot of fun riding. For you Sydney riders, if you haven't done the old Olga Road Trail, I highly recommend it. It is a fun trail.
You're committed now, Nick. Okay, we good? Should we hit it?
So we paused for a moment just to regroup, and then I saw Gavin took off on the front on his little WR, and I saw HD take off straight after him, and I knew exactly what was going to go on. This was a game that HD plays regularly. On his big German Panzer-like machine, he can ride that little puppy like no one's business, and he likes to chase down the little bikes. Now, when Gavin saw the big GSA in his rear view, he signalled for HD to pass, but no, HD wanted to play, and it was on. We had a little bit of everything on this trail, and it was just so much fun. I don't think any of us would have been anywhere else in the world at that point in time. It was just fantastic.
You are like an octopus, arms and legs on everywhere.
That maniacal laughter you hear is the sound of HD, and it always brings a smile to your face because the rougher and wilder the track gets, the more he laughs, the more he loves it. And it's just so infectious. Towards the end of the Bulga Trail, there's a beautiful lookout with sweeping views over the Hunter Valley, which just sort of mark the end of the sort of tough dirt for day 2. So we stopped in Bulga to refuel our bikes and refuel our stomachs and got ready for the next leg, which was about an hour's tar riding across the top of Wollemi National Park. And it may be tar, but it's a beautiful ride. Just the scenery, it's so green at the moment, the mountains around, it was absolutely gorgeous and I enjoyed it, even though it was tar. I couldn't work out why HD was pulling over, because it's not like him to be tired. Then I realised he was just channeling his inner train spotter, and he spotted one of the big coal trains that he wanted to get some drone footage of. Once we reached Bailong, that's when we turned back off on the dirt, and that was the scene of the accident. We went through an absolutely stunning little community called Upper Bailong, but it's all been abandoned because I believe the Chinese miners bought every building on there and all the land to turn it into mining, which is a bit of a shame because it is such stunning countryside. And the road obviously hasn't been maintained for quite some time because it quickly sort of went into, we could sell as a disused road. It was really, the obstacles weren't that tough on the bike at all. There was some washouts and ruts and things like that, but they're pretty easily to sort of skirt around.
A few ruts here.
We're getting close to the scene of the accident here. You can see HD's at the front, and he's actually just shooting some footage looking backwards. And one thing to point out, we're all actually, it's towards the end of the day, we're all feeling quite tired. We're riding pretty slowly. So, and there's Craig. Craig just goes past HD. So now Craig is out in front of the group, but riding super slow, probably, 20 to 30 Ks. Next thing you know, we go around the corner. I see HD stop, and we can see that there's a motorbike down, so Craig had fallen. I pulled around just to get a bit of a better look, and I could see the bike pointing the wrong way, Craig's foot pointing the wrong way, and he was clearly not in a good way.
Oh, fuck.
What happened? You just lost it in the mud?
Just went down, and I tried to just stay on the bike and my foot got caught on the ground.
Sorry, mate. Once again.
So let's go back and just have a look at the mud that Craig was referring to. Surely it can't be that mud. Let's go back. No, hang on, let's go forward slowly. Yeah. It's that tiny little puddle with a clear bit of dry ground on the side. That was the bit that took Craig out. In this part of the video, I'm actually going to call out a few failings that occurred on the part of New South Wales Ambulance Service. Now, I'm a huge fan of the AMBOs and all first responders, but it was really clear that the system went wrong during this rescue. And the way I see it, there were three things that went wrong. Number one, I think there was a young, inexperienced dispatcher that took the call, and she just didn't know how to enter in the longitude, latitude coordinates into the ambulance system. And I have verified with a number of paramedics and also with the ambulance service themselves that their system does deal with longitude, latitude. So this is clearly a training issue. I think the second issue that was clear was that when she didn't know how to do it, I think she should have escalated and brought in a supervisor to help out, and that didn't occur for whatever reason. And then the third issue that you'll see clearly highlighted is that the longitude, latitude coordinates that we gave to the operator were not passed on to the first responders or to the helicopter crew. So they ended up having to waste time searching for us. Now, we were pretty lucky in that Craig's injuries were not life-threatening. So, you know, while he was in a lot of pain for extra time, had this been a snake bite or a more serious injury, for example, it could have meant the difference between life and death. So I have been sort of talking and communicating with various stakeholders from New South Wales Ambulance, and hope that this video just shines a light on it, and then hope that those issues are resolved. So now we come to the rescue, and let me just describe the location that we were in. It was on the western side of Wallamai National Park, between Rylstone and Bylong. From Bylong, we rode down Lees Creek Road, which runs parallel to the highway, and you can see the accident site is about 80% of the way through that loop. When I posted the trailer for this video, I had a lot of interest in terms of what was it that we actually did, and where did we make mistakes, and what would we do differently. So let me start by taking you through our rescue procedure, which I'm sure will not appear in any handbooks. Step one, let's make sure the cameras are rolling. As long as there's people standing around, I think a lot of people forget to actually just turn the cameras on when something like this happens. And, you know, the reason why we did is we kind of thought, hey, we want to document this and save it for posterity, but also share it because I know people are interested in these types of things. So we actually turned on our GoPros and our iPhones and we recorded everything. Step two, we took a few moments just to make fun of Craig and have a few jabs. Why? Two reasons. One, it's Craig, so why not? And two, often people are pretty tense after an accident, and just having a little laugh kind of just relaxes everyone a little bit. But anyway, the main reason was because it was Craig.
I'll hold this, just film yourself for a bit. Yeah, there you go, just hold it there. Just make sure it's level. Do something useful.
Was it on?
Yeah, it's on.
Oh, really?
If it looks normal, pal, I think just fucking button this on.
And I can safely say we accomplished step two like a boss. Now that step two is out of the way, we thought we better contact someone and get some help for Craig. And that's where our first dilemma really came into play. As a group, we were actually pretty well prepared. In fact, maybe even over-prepared. Amongst us, we had a PLB, we had 2 Garmin InReaches, we had a sat phone, and we also had a UHF radio. So the question was, well, what should we use? So let me ask you this quick quiz. If you were in our situation, what would you use? A, just hit the button on the PLB and not muck about. B, hit the SOS button on the Garmin InReaches and text with the center. Or C, use the sat phone and call emergency services. Or D, jump on the bike and ride for help. We chose option C, to use the sat phone. And our logical rationale was, we could have two-way conversation pretty easily with a dispatcher. They could call us back. So we thought the sat phone was the most logical route to go. Hello. We have got a motorbike rider that's had an accident and hurt his foot. Well, we're actually on a bush track. I can give you longitude and latitude if that helps. Okay, so it's 32 degrees, 31 minutes, 38 seconds south. That's whatever it is, the north-south one. Fuck! I did not expect that we'd have a problem where emergency services could not locate us through longitude and latitude. On there. It just says, I've just got the bearings, but it's the whatever the north-south one is. I don't know if that's latitude or longitude.
So you want to use three little words?
Okay, and then the other is 150 degrees, 7 minutes, 20 seconds east.
Things, yeah. So the three little words is
the road is L-E-E. Lima Echo Echo. You can't locate me from longitude, latitude?
press the button.
We do have emergency beacons. We've got emergency beacons we can activate if that's easier. Are we in the Musselbrook area?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Musselbrook sort of Shark Council. Yeah. Okay, so what's happened is he's a motorcycle rider riding on a dirt track, and the bike went over, and his right leg is hurt. So it's sort of twisted around at a funny angle, and he's done some damage to his right leg. He fell off the motorbike and hurt his right leg. Yeah, there's a group of us here. How old is the patient? 80? 60. Is that 53 or 63?
You've been lying all that time.
63. Male.
You got a pension card? Might be cheaper.
Yes, he's awake. Is he what? Yes, he's breathing.
No, he's fucking just.
He's quite grumpy.
She said you have to stop speaking, Craig. I don't know if that's medical or not, but that's what she said.
Are there chemicals or other hazards? No.
Ants. A lot of ants.
No one's trapped.
I think the ants are going to eat them before the ambo gets here.
I think you would have.
Yes, everyone's completely awake.
Was it close to one in the chopper?
Yeah, he's right. No, that looks to be the only injury. Probably his pride, but I don't know if we're going to be able to help with that. No. By long, B for Bravo, Y for Yankee. By long. After some initial screening questions, we came back to the issue of locating us. No, it's not Waigong. It really was quite an excruciating process trying to talk the operator through to understand where we were because they couldn't use long lat. I went back and had a look at the phone log, and this initial call took 21 minutes before an ambulance was dispatched. If you get to Bailong, you've gone too far. road that we're on, it kind of, so Bylong Valley Way runs north
can't
to
even
south.
see any tracks where it's turned,
And the
Jim.
road that we're on,
Can't even see any
it
tracks
does a
where it's
loop
actually
off to the east. So it
Must
goes
happen real
off that
fast.
road, runs parallel to that, north to the east of that road, and then joins back to that road at Bylong. Do you see that? Parallel to that Bylong, to that Bylong Valley Way. It runs parallel to the east.
Talk to me. You okay?
Okay. So that's the road that we're on. Now, if you follow that south, where it joins back onto Bylong Valley Way, do you see that?
Just want to let you know, Craig, your Moscow bags are dirty. Who had what time? What time do we have?
They're like about $100 now.
Is it still Saturday AM? Because I had money on Saturday AM.
While we were still waiting for the dispatcher to locate us, we made a plan. And the plan was we're going to send 3 riders ahead on the rest of the trail. One of them was going to stop at the main road and wait for emergency services. And then Nick and HD were going to take Craig's bike down to Rylestone. And then HD was going to double him back
So we
on
ride
the
this
GS.
out. I leave this there, leave that there.
Take Craig's. Take
I'll just
Craig's.
take Craig's out.
Yeah. Yeah.
If for some reason the ambo can't get through, someone come back and let me know straight away. What the guys discovered as they continued riding was there were in fact 3 big obstacles in front of us. The Silty Creek crossing, what I call the washouts of death, and the boggy field. So this is the first obstacle, the Silty Creek crossing.
Into it, into it, into it. Into it. Go, 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 go.
So with that obstacle behind them, the team continued on. You'll see the second obstacle, the washouts of death, later on their return leg. And here's the final obstacle, the boggy field. And it doesn't look too bad in the GoPro, but it was really, really soft. Not just the tracks, but the whole paddock on both sides. All 3 riders made it out to the main road, and we left Paul waiting at the road for the first responders. In the meantime, I was stuck with grumpy gills. They really did respond in force. We had a fire truck, an ambo, 2 SES vehicles, including this nifty little side-by-side. But the problem was they were stuck at the first gate by the boggy field.
Howdy.
How far up is he?
Fairway.
Fair way.
Probably
So there's
4 Ks.
there's still a worse water crossing to go through, isn't
Yeah,
there?
it's really
we're not
soft.
far from the water crossing though.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's like almost we could stretch her out from there. And then I came on the other bike down here. We just dropped his bike into Rylestone.
Yeah. Right.
Well, we came down through the paddock.
Okay.
Did you just come from the other side of Lee Creek?
No, this way.
Oh, you rode.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, we've ridden both. Yeah, through.
Is it quick, easy getting from the other way? We come from up a Bylong Road and turn onto this road?
Probably yes.
Yeah, I'd say yeah.
I mean, for a 4-wheel drive and stuff.
Yeah, because it's quite soft underneath. It's really soft.
This way or the other way?
This way.
Okay.
So how much further from
I reckon
So
the
how
other
much
way.
further is he from here?
4Ks.
4K?
Goes, okay.
But the river crossing starts
Yeah, the other side of the river crossing.
River crossing's probably K1.5 away.
K1.5. Yeah, okay. But it's just the end of the river crossing that's the problem of the whole thing.
There's probably about 800, 900 metres of this rubbish,
Yeah.
and then
So we're not going to get through here.
656.
No.
So
So we'll start.
Wait, wait.
We'll start. We'll start going the other way.
Sorry, can you repeat that,
I guess the answer, really.
Yeah,
it's pretty soft.
We went. I came out through here and then went down the paddock,
Yeah.
and then I ducked back
please? So
in.
you think impassable this way?
Yeah, we're not going to
And-
try through this way.
And
So
it'll
we're,
be 4Ks
we're
of
6
carrying,
ton or something or other. You could
But they've
just
got winches.
You'll be leaving it there.
Get through here?
No.
Okay.
No, but we can try to go through the other way if they want us to do that.
So you reckon the other way we'd get...
Yeah, I think it's less muddy. It's far less muddy.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't that much. It wasn't that hard.
Let's
No.
do that then. We'll start the other way,
No worries.
and
Do you want us to ride out to meet you, or do you want us to just meet you there?
just meet us there, I suppose. Just keep your eyes out for a helicopter. So
Yeah, they're in a nice big open spot there next to the river.
there is an open spot, is
Yep.
there?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
We gave the coordinates to the AAO, but didn't seem to digest it.
All right, we'll go. We're losing time here, so let's go.
Okay,
Thanks, guys.
thanks. You right?
Yep.
You okay? Yeah. Good. Yeah. It's just hard when you're sitting down.
Yeah. You want to still stand up? Is that the way I meant to do it?
Okay. Okay. Let me just get up.
Yeah, get over here.
We'll get to the gate.
Get up to the gate and start.
Marvellous. Oh, this is heaps easier, Nick. Did you see my trials action? That was awesome. That was awesome. Up the little concrete grid. Hold up. You okay? Right, let's go. As soon as you look at it, you go into it, is that what they say?
Finally, after nearly 2 hours alone with Craig, I heard the sound of a motorbike returning. That sounds like a chopper.
Howdy.
Howdy.
How's the
Here comes the
patient?
helicopter.
Is it?
Yep.
I can't get in.
They can't get in?
That way's...
We actually had a UHF radio, but none of us knew whether the chopper would monitor UHF, and if so, what channel. If anyone does know, please leave it in the comments. That'd be useful.
Yeah, they'll hear you. Oh, they can't see you.
As they flew past on the other side of the trees, it suddenly dawned on us that they didn't have our precise location. And that's a really deflating feeling when you watch the rescue chopper flying away from you. For fuck's sake.
If he just went down that side of the trees, he probably didn't see us.
That's what I'm thinking.
So HD took off after them. We also pulled the mirrors off and were using the mirrors to try and signal to the helicopter when it came back. Finally it found us, did a couple of circles and then set up to land. I can tell you we were all very happy to see that crew come out of the helicopter.
Oh, thank God. They shut the helicopter off.
Guys, prefer it if you didn't video it.
Understandably,
Oh, really? Okay.
the medics didn't want cameras in their face while they were working, so we didn't cover any of that part.
Alright, you grab that.
Yep.
Just grab the hand there.
Yep.
Get down for mate.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say
At least we got a selfie with a chopper.
Yeah. And their flash Uber. It costs about $1 a second, so I hope they're not paying for this one. And I better get 5 stars.
Don't you guys do it, make them do it.
Nah, that's alright. We get combo.
Yeah, home one. I didn't need to see that. No.
That's a new injury.
Yeah.
Okay. You've probably done your tib and fib or tib looking at that.
Oh, you can hang out with
Feel me
John
touch
now.
you there?
Sorry?
You can feel me touching you there? Can you wiggle your toes for me?
Yes.
Could I get you guys on each side, please? On this?
Thanks for this. Yeah, bloody hell, Craig, it's going to take everyone.
Head first? I'll take it.
You could tell the pain relief was kicking in because Craig was talking shit again.
Okay, guys, coming up on 3. 1, 2, 3. That's where your coffin's going to feel. You guys all happy with the weight?
Yeah, all good. I heard my name mentioned, but I don't know what it was.
Before the injuries, always like that.
Well, we did camp in the bush last night. There wasn't any shower. Beautiful bit of land down here.
God, I wish I had that sedative when I was sitting next to him for 2 hours.
It's about as fast as you've gone all day, Craig. It's a nice shot of your face. Some face there, Craig. It's good. Really good.
So as we bid farewell to the Westpac chopper and Craig, it's time for us to think about getting ourselves out of there. And then there were 4. It was getting pretty dark as we set off to tackle those 3 obstacles ourselves. And this is what happens when you forget to turn traction control off. We all got back over the silty creek, but then as luck would have it, nature threw one extra obstacle in front of us. Coco got a flat tire just after going through the creek.
Oh, she's a ripper.
You know, one of the things I really love about adventure bike riding is just the teamwork that you have when you're trying to get through obstacles or solve problems. So we all sort of jumped on it and worked as a team and pretty quickly had the puncture repaired. And I guess if you're going to get a puncture, there's plenty of worse places in the world to get it than in this beautiful, beautiful landscape.
Go around you, Nico's girl.
It was so late by this time, getting dark, that we changed our plans and opted not to camp, and instead we stayed at the Rylstone Hotel, who were fantastic and gave us a great feed. And boy, the beers went down well that night.
Just for next time. Just for next time. If you did water better. If you did it.
So we changed our plans for the last day. Originally we were going to ride this abandoned railway from Kandos down to Kapiti, but instead we wanted to go out and just explore some of the tracks around Rylstone and go and have a look at Dunn's Swamp Campground. And I'm glad we did, because it was just stunning, stunning landscape. The rock formations, the mountains, boy, they're beautiful. And as we got to Dunn's Swamp Campground and just took in the beauty of it, we knew that we were going to have to come back and camp and just enjoy and explore more of this part of the world. Even with Craig's accident and all the drama around the rescue, it was an amazing adventure, and we do wish our buddy Craig a speedy recovery.
Sorry, it's video.
Cheers!
Hi there, I hope you found that both entertaining and informative. I thought I'd just wrap up with a couple of sort of lessons learned, because especially once I posted the trailer, I had a bunch of people who are much more knowledgeable on this reach out to me, you know, ex-search and rescue pilots, paramedics, ambulance operators, etc. So what did I learn? In terms of contact method, I think I'd still go the sat phone. If I was doing it again, I would still call the sat phone. However, the difference is if I had an operator that wasn't responsive or didn't seem to understand long latitude, I would have asked her to reach out and get a supervisor, because now I know that the AMBOs can sort of resolve my location using long lat. If there was still some sort of problem, I'd have no hesitation pushing the button either on our PLB or on the inReach. I think I probably would go the inReach just because it's got some communication capabilities. Although I have had a helicopter pilot reach out to me and say that there are some issues with the accuracy of the inReach. So he's going to make a video on that. So I'm very much looking forward to learning more on that. Second learning, I have downloaded and installed an app on my phone called What 3 Words. And, I hadn't heard about that before this incident, but What 3 Words, it's a free app, and using 3 words, it will locate someone anywhere in the world to, I think, about 3 square meter area. And I believe that most of the emergency services do use What 3 Words. So for me, that would be a backup for location if I'm off the grid. What else did I learn? I think they were the main lessons. When I reflect back on the rescue situation, I think largely from our side, we handled it fairly well. We were well prepared in terms of first aid gear, in terms of communication gear, in terms of food, water, camping gear, etc. I think we put together a reasonable plan. Look, we could have had that. We could have used the What 3 Words app. That might have helped, but largely, we feel grateful that Craig's making a recovery, and before long, I'm sure he's going to be out there giving us hell on the rides and swearing like crazy on our centres. But we wish him well and look forward to riding with him again.